We live in an era of intense physical connection, yet total ideological gridlock. We can beam information across the globe in milliseconds, but we remain fiercely divided by borders, races, and competing worldviews. Humanity lacks a shared moral or social framework to manage its planetary scale. We have built the hardware of a global civilization without an operating system to run it. Economic systems and political statesmanship have attempted to bridge these gaps, but they fail to address the underlying causes of global friction. They only treat the symptoms. This global realignment traces its origins back to the rigid social structures of 19th century Persia. The year was 1844, in Shiraz, Persia. This was a society governed by severe decay, deep prejudice, and fierce religious fanaticism. Into this environment, a young merchant known as the Bab, meaning the gate, made a declaration that directly challenged the absolute authority of the ruling ecclesiastical hierarchy. He claimed to be the primal point, asserting the direct divine authority to completely annul a 1,000-year-old Islamic dispensation. The state and the clergy responded with a coordinated crackdown. The ruling dynasty mobilized its military, resulting in the massacre of more than 10,000 of the Bab's followers. The crisis reached its peak when the Bab himself was imprisoned, subjected to years of intense suffering, and ultimately executed by a firing squad in a public square. Thousands of people willingly faced death because they saw the Bab as a necessary disruption, a gate designed to break an obsolete system and introduce a framework where truth is seen as an unfolding process. This framework was fully articulated by Bahá'u'lláh, the founder of the Bahá'í Faith, through a concept called progressive revelation. Instead of viewing religious truth as static or final, progressive revelation treats it as a continuous, unfolding process. All major world religions derive their inspiration from the single, unified divine source. The history of humanity is mapped out like the growth of a single person. We have lived through the isolated stages of our collective infancy and childhood. The turbulent conflicts we see today are the convulsions of our collective adolescence. As we move toward this next stage of maturity, the social rules designed for ancient, isolated tribes can no longer sustain a globalized world. To address this, Bahá'u'lláh introduced a twofold mandate: to guide individuals towards spiritual development and to physically ensure the peace and tranquility of the entire human race. Divine guidance adapts to the requirements of the age in which it appears. A globally integrated world requires a specifically global blueprint for survival. This blueprint is practical. Abdu'l-Bahá, the authorized interpreter of the Bahá'í writings, outlined 7 specific unities, a framework known as the 7 lights of unity. These serve as the literal load-bearing pillars for a functional world. The first 4 are unity in the political realm, unity of thought in world undertakings, unity in freedom, and unity in religion. The final 3 are the unity of nations, the unity of races, and the adoption of a universal auxiliary language. Transitioning to this model requires the literal demilitarization and reconstruction of the entire civilized world. Lasting peace requires replacing a war-based economy and unrestricted national sovereignty with a legally binding international order. The Bahá'í revelation redefines the purpose of religion, away from political agitation or personal salvation. As Bahá'u'lláh wrote, all men have been created to carry forward an ever-advancing civilization. The engine for that civilization rests on the elimination of all prejudice, the equality of men and women, compulsory education for every child, and harmony between science and religion. When we look back at those 10,000 early followers who gave their lives in 19th century Persia, this is what they were dying for. They sacrificed themselves to break the stagnation of the old world so this global vision could take root. It requires us to accept that the era of strict nationalism has served its purpose and passed, because ultimately the earth is but one country and mankind its citizens.